Alright guys, before today's episode, just a quick reminder that we are on Patreon. For as little as £3 a month, you can sign up and get access to an extra episode every 2 weeks, plus bonus content from all our previous live shows, including the full behind the scenes footage from the Pavilion. We are also all at the Edinburgh Festival at this current time. Steve, yourself doing some selected dates?
Select dates. I don't know when this will go out, but I've probably already done 2 of them.
Yes.
But then you've got 4 other ones you can catch.
Some Laugh Live is on the 20th of August at Monkey Barrel at 11:20. It'll be a fun show.
Fun late night extravaganza.
Yes, and myself and Stuart are also doing the full runs at the Fringe, and tickets will still be available for those, and do look out for any extra shows as well. Aside from all that, I think there's nothing left to be said, but enjoy.
Have some laugh.
Today's episode
with us. Enjoy the ep.
Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh.
Are you actually a magician?
Yeah, I was when I was 12 to 18, yeah.
Yeah?
Really bad one, yeah.
How did you get it? Was it the classic getting a set for Christmas type of thing, and then
Pretty much Marvin's Magic, yeah.
We all got
Pretty
those
much.
sets, and none of us became magicians.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He had too many friends.
So you done it for the age of 12 to what?
18, yeah.
And what was that?
I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, to be honest. And that's just the way to...
Nobody gets a stand-up comedy box though, do they, for the Christmas?
Nah.
Yeah.
What would be in
I
that?
got a joke book
Nice,
though.
I guess.
Yeah, a
You
noose.
get a joke book.
Steve, I get a joke, okay.
But did you join the magic circle? Is that
Yeah. So I joined the Young Magic Circle, yeah. But...
Hitler Youth.
Yeah, it was magical. A lot of like-minded magical people. No, but it was just like, you just got a magazine in the post once a month, and then there was like a thing, but it was in London, so I just never went. So it wasn't really...
And did you do any performances in that?
What, like...
What, did you do
yeah,
like shows?
Oh, yeah. What, was I gigging? Do you
Aye.
mean? Yeah, big
Was it
time.
you gigging at 12
Yeah.
as a magician?
Yeah.
Can't come to your birthday party.
I was doing like
a corporate.
corporates and that, but I was just such a bad businessman. So I was like, they like ring. It started because I got a Marvin's Magic set, and then I was loving doing magic, and then I learned some other tricks, and then I just found out that you just type into YouTube like card tricks, and it's all just there. Like it's not like it's not hard to find. I think that's why magicians are like, don't like it when people are like, oh, how did you do that? It's like, if you really care, that's why you can't tell anyone, because the information is actually so easy to find out.
It's a waste of time.
You're not allowed to go on YouTube.
Yeah. Wow. And then my mum's friends their kids, it was their party, and they got a quote from a magician. It was like really expensive. They were like, oh, Dan will do it. Chuck him 20 quid. Which at like age 12 is like £1 million.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Open spot magician.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was just doing like mainly kids parties for a while.
whilst you were a kid?
Whilst I was a child, yeah.
And would you wear like a tuxedo and all this
Yeah,
kind of stuff?
real deal. Yeah, I had like a
I would love to see a picture of that.
I know. I'll send you. I got like a business card that still haunts me to this day, and I made it like myself on Vistaprint.
Nice.
And it's like me in like in a top hat, and then my hand is just like dead distorted. It looks like AI. It's like really like that.
7 fingers.
And then it says like illusion, sleight of hand, and so much more. Sleight of hand spelt wrong. And then it says no venue too big or small. Yeah. And I brought that ethos very much into my comedy. Yeah. But then I was when I got a bit older, then I was doing like close-up kind of shows.
That's just fun. To be fair, we did basically just start recording as soon as you came in.
That's me getting magic bookings as we speak.
So can you still do?
Nah,
shit?
not really.
No.
I'm shit. I was so bad. I
Was it
feel
like
so disconnected because I'm like, I don't know how I was doing that.
Was it like a Tommy Cooper thing where it was meant to be shit?
Well, so Tommy Cooper actually was a really good magician, and then he would use that to make it look like he was making mistakes. And
Yeah.
I was a huge Tommy Cooper fan,
Yeah.
and I didn't realise that that's what he was doing. So I
Magic
thought he was.
Stuart Lee.
Yeah, exactly.
So you thought he was just shit, and you were like, "Oh, I'll just be shit as well."
Yeah, so it was fine. You could get away with it at kids' parties and
It's
stuff.
kind of
'cause the
cute if
tricks
you're a
are quite
kid to be
basic.
shit at magic. It's kind of
Well,
fun.
that's
but
what it was.
If I book an 18-year-old from a birthday party and he sucks, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like dropping cards at weddings and stuff, and like fucking just it was a nightmare. I did this trick where you like get a spike and then you flick the cup. Do you know the trick? It's like you've got 4 coasters.
Yeah.
One of them's got a big metal spike in it.
And you do
put
that.
4 paper cups on and you do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then at a party, I just absolutely impaled my hand.
Did they go through?
Yeah, well, what's brilliant is I thought that
No wonder your hands distorted.
I thought the spike was like fake. And then I remember thinking, oh, it's real. It is real. It is actually really sharp. Yeah.
Did you style it out, or did you like?
Yeah, it was pretty professional. I gripped the paper cup in my hand, and it was the last trick of the show. And then I did reset the trick and did it with my left hand, and then
That's a professional.
and then sort of used the paper cup almost as like a plaster. And then when you're coming off a gig, like, and then it was my mate's 18th birthday party, and all of her parents and family were there, and you want everyone to come over and to be like, that was brilliant, and everyone just came over like, oh my god, are you all right? Do you need an ambulance? Like,
That's it, and so much more part of it.
yeah.
Body horror.
I'll sustain injuries and stuff.
Yeah, on the card is like my number and then 111, you know.
So you were doing that at that age, and you've got dyspraxia.
Yeah.
So was that like, what's the other name for that? I've heard you talk about this.
It's called, I think,
They used to have a
DC. Oh yeah.
the-
I know what you're looking for. So they
for people that don't know
these
what it
days.
is.
So yeah, it affects like your spatial awareness, your coordination, like short-term memory. It's a bit like dyslexia, but like more like physical or whatever. But I think it's called DC. They call it something now like DCD, and I only know that because a passive-aggressive woman after a show was like, "It's called DCD now." But they used to call it clumsy child syndrome. That's what, yeah.
Sick.
What
What you wear when you're dropping the cards and all
yeah,
that?
big time.
But that must have been like, so was the magic thing almost like a way to kind of like overcut, like to like prove I can, it's like, like I'm trying to think of an example, but I guess Oscar Pistorius, no legs, I'm going to become a runner, that type of shit. Was it like, I'm going to prove that I can do this? Sorry,
It was the old Oscar Pistorius routine.
I'm sure you not shot your wife.
I'm following his path, yeah.
At least it was your own hand you impaled. You didn't want to hurt anyone else.
But like, was it harder to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was. I feel like, it's kind of, I was a victim of kind of left-wing parenting to the point where they're like, oh, you can do anything. It doesn't matter. You can do anything. And like, really, I probably would have benefited from them being like, maybe not. Maybe you can't do that. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped with stand-up. Like, I didn't realise that until years afterwards, but I was like, because I was dropping cards at like a law society ball, like, and all you've got is like, you can just speak and make jokes and stuff. So it's like, I think that really like honed my chops.
Because you had to make jokes
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it going
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, imagine like, like you're dying, but then you're also like, you're dropping shit and like, it's just, and people are going, I can see how you did that, it's in your pocket and all of that. you're like 14, like, all right, knobhead, you've had too many, like,
I remember my first pint before you're even fucking old enough to have one.
And did that kind of get you? Did that make you want to do stand up?
No, I wanted to do stand up anyway,
Right, okay.
but I was too young.
Right.
So, and then when I started doing magic tricks, it was like, just instantly you get people will watch you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just perform. As soon as you pull a pack of cards out, like, you're basically performing or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think that was really what it was. I don't like it, like magic now. I like watching it. I hate doing it. Like I'm doing a trick in my show just because I've not written enough jokes, and I hate it. Yeah. It's hot. It's horrible. Because firstly, you just like there's just this tension you feel that I'd forgotten about, where you kind of, it's like you're lying. It's the same feeling you get when you're lying about something and people are grilling you about a thing that you're lying. It's like that on stage whilst you're also doing stand-up. Yeah.
I suppose you're literally tricking people.
Yeah.
Must be the same thrill like some like con artist or something gets, but when they're trying to make a sale or whatever, and it's like, oh, they're about you, and then like
it is, yeah. It's exactly, it feels like sales or whatever.
Yeah. That's probably why they're so insecure about like that, like the tricks getting given away in the magic circle, because like magic does not exist. No. So it is literally a house of cards.
Yeah, it's culty.
And like most tricks, when you find out how they're done, it's heartbreaking. It's just like, oh well, of course. Yeah, it's like, how did you get that in there? It's like, well, I put it in there when you weren't looking.
But it is still like sleight of hand and stuff is still quite impressive. It's hard to do, so it's like the fact that you can do that.
I love watching it. I think it's mad, and particularly when you watch someone who's got like all of the you know the je ne sais quoi. They're like kind of like they're like killing when you watch good stand-up magic, and it is rare, but it's so sick.
Did you ever see Sadowitz?
No.
I remember seeing him years ago, and he didn't get his cock out this time.
Yeah.
And it said, like, because he had a big, was it the Kings? He had a big screen.
He was a magician, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was shown down on the card, and he would do card tricks during the things. It was interesting, but apart,
he
like,
just got his cock out when no one's looking, like a proper magician. That wouldn't have been a problem, would it?
Yeah, just quickly.
But people say that he was like one of the, like, he's like a brilliant magician, like he's one of the top ones. But who knows? I've not got any sort of way to base it on, so I don't know if he was or wasn't. But interesting. But right, so then you ended up. So what age did you start doing stand up?
20. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Early on.
Yeah, big time.
What age are you now?
28. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
For people that don't know, I know this has been said to you before. I don't like hearing this, but you're one of the most decorated stand-ups in the country, because you've won every fucking new act competition going. Basically, what did you win?
BBC.
BBC.
New Comedy Award, another winner sitting over there.
Oh yeah.
What year were you? Last year? 2 years ago?
Year before last. Yeah. Yours was on the radio, was it?
2018. Yeah, you.
Were you like the last one?
So old he was on the wireless. It was just after Neville Chamberlain announced.
We will find him on the beaches, and now Stephen Buchanan.
He was after the traffic.
Do a type 5 at the end of the shipping forecast.
Generally though, what happened, because we were sharing a flat that year at the Fringe when Steve was in the final, and I'd filled in for your show because we're doing the free Fringe, and so I was walking back to the flat listening to like the results, but in between the show and the results you had to listen to the fucking Archers.
Yeah.
It's the only time I've ever heard it.
Funny.
I'm like, what is this shit?
Could you swear? Like
No.
Two stuffs.
Not
Well,
really.
famously, yeah, and I don't know if we've ever actually spoken about this on this podcast, but when we done our heat
Me
in
and Mark got
Manchester
pumped out
years
in the
ago,
heat in Manchester years ago.
But
And
I
he had
used
to
to have
change one of his
I
famous
used to have a bit
punchlines.
where I'd say the punchline was 2 fucks, and I changed it to 2 stuffs.
I don't give 2 stuffs.
Which was in retrospect
off.
feel good. The problem was because I had to do that to then set up a callback to something else.
Structurally, it was
Yeah,
important.
it was important, but it was very cringe. And the thing is, I did have a good gig that night, regardless. But yeah, maybe that was enough to
Stuff it up.
to stop me. Aye. But so you don't know, like, kind of ones like, because like, it just felt like you were like a force of nature, which you are on stage. I would say, Dan.
Yeah,
And,
horrible follow.
I'd have fucking hated to be in a competition with you at that time.
Yeah, well, particularly as I'd been going well too long to be in them. But yeah, I've got him now. What are you going to do?
It's almost like this guy's been in magic since the age of 12. But how did you find it? Because I felt I always kind of struggled with competitions, partly because I psyched myself out.
Yeah.
Did you fight were you able to just go on and do what you normally done?
Well, I'd been doing like in Manchester. There was like two gong shows, and then the ones like around like in Liverpool, and so we've been doing gong shows. I've been doing gong shows pretty much from like 8 gigs on or whatever. So I think that probably helped, and I got gonged off loads, and just so many comps just completely died, and just like so many. So it kind of got to the point where I was just sort of used to probably that. I don't know. I think I just didn't find it that. I think I just became quite good at like not just being like just do the gig and what will be will be.
Yeah.
Because you also have the ones where, you know, I'm sure you all know this, where you've completely roof it and then you don't place or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like even if you do completely smash it, you still very well might not win.
Yeah.
So don't even think about that, I reckon. Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know. It definitely is. It was a bit of like luck and like right time and the right place and all that stuff. Right running order and all of that. Like.
Aye. And how did what was it like after that? You'd won all the kind of things. Did you just because obviously you went and done your debut and then get nominated as well for debut show. So was that kind of off the back of it? Was it like the competitions and then that?
Yeah. So competitions and then the highly anticipated debut hour.
Hour.
And then it's hard to say what's kind of helped with what or whatever. And then I don't know, you know how it is. Then it's just like the next thing. That's just like, all right, now you need to do a good second hour or whatever. So, I don't know.
How are you finding that sort of transition to the second hour?
Oh yeah, is
it tough?
Yeah, the show's fully ready. No, I mean, I found the year leading up to it really just like overwhelming, like how you possibly going to do that. But then the last sort of month or so, you just kind of make it happen, don't you?
Yeah, got no choice, then.
Yeah, it's happening. And I've actually found that a bit less stressful than when I had loads of time, weirdly. Because you're like, well, I'm going on stage and doing it in like 10 days, so you know,
it's gonna happen.
A necessity, like things will come, won't they?
Yeah. Was your debut hour like basically all of the material you had done up till that point?
Yeah, exactly, everything. Yeah.
Just starting from scratch.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Did you do that for your debut? Like?
Yeah, I didn't wait that long though. I did it after maybe 5 years or something.
Yeah.
So, and then COVID came, so then it feels like I've started again since then. You know.
Yeah.
Debut twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a weird way, actually. I know that was it. Basically, like for me, I just like doing an hour of just my best stuff, basically, and then nobody kind of cared. Although I'd sort of technically debuted about fucking 3 or 4 years before that. And then just nobody had remembered.
Yeah,
so
you can try it again. See if it works.
See if I can keep debuting.
one review I got last year was like, it seems like he's been coming to the Fringe for years. I was like, yeah, I have. I did the Cowards Hour the year before as well. I did the 45. Yeah,
I'd done about 3 of them. I genuinely
they're
did.
good.
They're good then.
Yeah.
45 is plenty. We should make the whole thing 45.
No one wants more than 45.
Nah.
We all want to do 45. They all want to see 45, but because of the nerds needed to be over 50 to be eligible.
Yeah.
We're all beholden to that.
And there are the proper hardcore comedy nerds at Edinburgh who see like 10 shows a day. They like 50 or more, don't they? They
only
like
done 57.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you watch a load of shows? I can't. 2 is my absolute max, and then
per day or just
per day for the whole month. To be fair, get them both in first day. That's it. Sit back and talk shop for the rest of the month.
I think it depends. I feel like your days just vary so much when you're doing the Fringe. Like one day you'll be up early and you'll have loads of energy and you're fine with your show, so like, right, I've got time to go and see stuff. And then some days you're like, right, no, I need to fucking work on this. Some days you're hungover, whatever. So it just depends on where
I think when I was younger and I used to come to the Fringe before I did stand up, I'd watch 4 or 5 shows and love it. But now it's like, nah, I can do 2 max.
Yeah, I used to be so much more excited before I did stand up about stand up.
Yeah,
or particularly my first couple of years. I just wanted to watch as much of it.
Yeah.
Also, you just kind of know what everyone does now, don't you? Like, it's hard to be surprised now.
You can see the tricks.
You've seen more people because there's very few people now. You're going like, oh, I've never seen them before.
Yeah.
Like, but for years, like there's probably like all the comics that were known at the Fringe or the circuit. You'd kind of go, I've never seen them before, so go and see them. Like now, I'm like, I seen them fucking 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
I had to say I was in Australia at the Melbourne Comedy Festival, and that was like that because there's just so many people that you've never heard of, and then you watch, you're like, whoa, you know.
How did you find that? Because I was actually talking to Mark Simmons the other night who you done it with, and he said it was brilliant.
It's awesome. It's nothing like this. Like,
is this Melbourne? Did you say? Yeah.
But did you do Adelaide as well, or
I didn't.
Just in Melbourne?
Yeah, I hope to do it next year, and then I probably will try and do the other ones.
Aye.
But yeah, it's different for the Australian acts, and but they basically most of the sort of international acts just get flown out. You just get, and it's an unbelievable deal. Like, it's like you get your flights paid for, you get your accom paid for, you get money, you get per diems, you get like and I was on a mixed bill, 20 each a night with Josh Jones and Sally A.B.
You don't even need to do your fucking hour.
Nah.
Great.
Yeah.
Easy money.
And you don't have to, you're on a flat rate, so tickets couldn't affect you less. Like, it's just, everything's dead close. It's one of those where it's not like Edinburgh where you can't walk without noticing there's a comedy festival. Like, Melbourne is very much a comedy festival in a very small space. So it's kind of in a city that's already...
Stuff's happening there.
Yeah, where loads of people would go to Melbourne and not even have a clue it was happening. But it's once you know it's there, it's still vast and it's just very chilled. Like,
is it more like that, or is it like are there still people doing their full hour?
There is loads of people doing full hours for sure. Yeah.
And do they have awards and stuff?
Yeah, they do. And we went to the awards, so different to like the ones here. Like, you know how like here there's almost like if you were to win an award, you notice that, you know, you don't want to look like the speeches are very cynical and very brief. Yeah. And it's just like, quickly say thanks before I make a tit out of myself and end up in every group shot.
You should do a magic trick if you win it.
Yeah. I've already got it planned. Yeah. I think if I won the award this year, that would be a magic trick in itself. It'd be like, how did he do that? I can't tell you. But Melbourne, and I respect them for this. Every speech, and they've got loads of awards. It's about 20 different awards. It's loads, and they're all doing 8-minute speeches that they've written, and they're like, there's 2 minutes of funny, and then it's sincere, and then everyone's like,
this is what they're trying to do for his stag do wedding speech.
Yes, man. We need the opposite. We need to start sincere and then get funny, I think.
I don't know.
But so they do that?
Yeah, it's very like, and it's all like, I think because people respect the festival there and the organisers of it, it's so much fairer than here. And you know how here it's like, it's so spread out, there's not one kind of accountable body, whereas in Melbourne there's like more of a like visible board or whatever, and it's kind of so there's a lot of like, thanks so much to the festival, and I've been coming here, and you know, it's
nobody's ever thanking the Fringe.
It's nice. It's not the, you know, at the awards here, there's a kind of weird underlying like, there's summit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all politics.
Yeah.
Shadowy figures.
Yeah.
Stupid lot of shit.
And I think the fact that there's loads of awards is nice because it means that you get a much more spread out.
What other awards is there? So like best show.
We've got mad names. Let me try and so the main two I think are like the most outstanding show, and then like the newcomer show.
Right.
And then international acts, I think it's only Kiwis and Aussies that are eligible for the best newcomer, which is good because it and then there's like, let me remember some of them. There's one of them which is like the director's choice, so that's basically after everyone's been nominated for all the other awards, the one that they think kind of missed the thingy. Then there's also some mad one called like the Plank of Wood Award, and that's like
the shittest show.
Well, it's like the cool one apparently. So it's like basically, if you win I might get this wrong, but my understanding of it is that if you win, you become on the judging panel for that award. So it's just made up of like 20 comics. So like, I'm trying to remember people who've won it, but Dan Raff is one of them. It's like all of like, the comics, and then they all then vote between them, and then you get your name stenciled into the plank of wood, and the picture of you biting the wood, and then they all meet up and like decide who's the wood guy or girl. Cool. And then there's also one where they send someone out to the Fringe, like the Edinburgh Fringe, a new comic. There's loads. It
does sound like
it's
a
better,
lot of fun.
right?
Yeah,
Because if they had that here, I think it would give a much fairer.
Yeah.
You know, like there should be like
20 awards and I still didn't win one.
There should be I
know. It's like fucking.
Still need Scottish people.
And I always wonder that director's choice one. Like the guy who won, I can't remember his name. Like he was there and at the awards, and I wonder like, does everyone go just in case? You know what I mean? Because there's no.
Aye. I don't even know if I'll probably never go to the fucking Edinburgh Awards ceremony. I can't imagine any time where I would go to it.
It does feel like crashing a wedding or something, doesn't it? There's no need for us to be there.
I do think there should just be a funniest award in Edinburgh. Give a funniest award and give a best
show. Most outstanding show and the funniest show.
Why not?
Because they're different. They are different.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely.
But what's funny is that everybody thinks the main Edinburgh Awards is still the fucking joke of the Fringe thing that's in the papers.
Yeah.
That's what the general public think.
No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
But see,
I think
obviously
there should be like a free Fringe award as well.
Yeah.
You know, or like a DIY award. You know what I mean? Like if you've not gone.
People do their own ones, don't they? Like the Malcolm Hardy thing and people do pop up with new awards, don't they?
But obviously in Edinburgh where we are at the moment, and it is during the festival, and the awards are a big deal. Obviously when you've done your debut, and that is like the big thing, like your debut hour, like could you get nominated for best newcomer, because it's one of the things that can change your career. It can, you know, like get you an agent, get you telly stuff, all that, all these potential things, go to Australia, that type of thing. It's obviously a lot of pressure though on acts, and like, so see for your experience of doing it, how was it like that year in general, and then what was it like between like doing the show and then getting nominated in that last couple of days? When that's happened in London.
So I mean, like, being completely honest, like I probably, if you'd asked me this time last year, I wouldn't have been completely honest. You know what I mean? But truth is because of the comps I won, I knew I was like someone who was like potentially up for it or whatever. So then you kind of spending the year not just thinking about the show, but I was thinking about, and it makes me cringe actually how much I wanted it, because then you get it and it's sort of like it's good, but it's not. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not a fucking made man all of a sudden.
No, I don't know what I was imagining would happen. Like Lee Evans would, like, you know, welcome to the club, lad.
Magic circle.
It's more. So then when you're here, like, and then you quickly realise you are getting that sort of buzz, and then everyone's sort of saying it, and then I must have said some mad things when I was pissed last year. I dread to think, to be honest. It's not a year. Well, it's not even, I would have respect myself if I was doing that, but it's more going, no. I mean, maybe, you know.
A little of me.
Yeah, and then by the time it's there, you just try not to talk about it, but it's just on my mind. It's like, oh, well, if I don't get nominated, why? Yeah, which sounds mad, but you're like,
but you were well placed for it, and
and then the show's gone the way it's gone, and like you're like, oh well, if I've not, then I've done something wrong, or I'm not. I don't know. And then and
then when you did get nominated, how did that affect the last couple of days of the Fringe?
So well, I know the other nominees for this newcomer, Sarah Millican, messaged us all to be like, just so you know, you're about to die on your arse for like 3 days, because everyone is going to be like, she didn't put it like that, but that was very much the message, was like, you know, even if your shows are sold out, trust me, like, they're going to be tough. And she was right.
Yeah,
they were all, and everyone said that.
Why is that?
I think because it's like, ooh, okay, this is let's see about that. Let's see if this really is, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I really felt like that. I mean, part of it was probably because, well, the day I got nominated, I got absolutely levered. That's sending Sarah a voice notes like, you're right. Yeah.
And did you feel more pressure to try and like perform it, like, you know, like?
I didn't feel like, because I guess they are still judging you to win at that, you know. But is that what you meant? Like, did it put more of a stick up your ass to go, right, this needs to be fucking perfect now, or this needs to be an award-winning show? Well, I had because the material was already old stuff that I'd put in my debut. I had that problem early on, like 10 days in, like, this is going well, but I'm just a broken record here. The magic of the show is gone. I'm just pressing play. So I'd that had been an issue. That was my main focus every day, was just trying to be like stay alive and in the room. But when you've done it,
it's hard, that, isn't it? Even if it's
so
a new show, it's
every
hard,
every year that's hard, isn't it? You're in the same room at the same time. You can't remember which. You get confused, innit? Like, you can't remember if it's today or the other day. Like, as mad as that sounds.
It's a mad feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
how do you try and keep it fresh for yourself? Do you?
I guess crowd work probably is like trying to find something in the room that makes it a bit different.
Yeah.
Maybe like changing a punchline slightly, adding a random tag on, like that you thought of on the spot. Just trying to like.
It's weird that you add like a 5 out of 10 tag on that does nothing for the gig, but it somehow
it wakes you up, doesn't it?
Yeah,
definitely. Like, because it's you speaking in your actual voice rather than But I don't know. Like, just trying. There was some days. I think it's tough when a gig starts going badly as well, and then you just instantly like.
Especially when you're doing an hour.
It's a long time, isn't it?
After like 5 minutes, and you're like, this is going to be a fucking...
Well, because you do it like 24 times in a row, so like a week or two in, right, you know there's a sort of baseline barometer of how an average show will go, what the average response to most of the jokes are, and you start early on and you go, right, this, you obviously try and put some strong stuff at the start, and when that doesn't go well, you're like, okay, this is going
to be
an uphill battle. That middle bit,
that filler bit is not going to hit.
But you know, it's just a fucking endurance test, basically, isn't it? It's like your fucking mental health and everything else, just to like day after day after day. And as you say, like, you can feel like a bit of a broken record, but then you've got to find ways to anchor it to the present moment. And crowd work and stuff like that is good to do it, and just obviously keep changing it up.
It does make you so much better, I think. The Fringe, like, I get all the problems with it, but it does, doing it over and over again, like,
it's the gym, innit, for comedy.
It's
intensive.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about it? Like, are you a big pisshead at the Fringe? Do you love it?
Yeah. You know the answer to that.
I thought you might have some shit.
No.
You should have an award for that, by the way.
That'd be a great award. Biggest cannon. I guess so. Like, jokes are fine.
The Phil Ellis Award.
I genuinely, oh God, I'm trying to be better this year.
Name etched into his brown leather jacket.
It's like the Masters he puts on.
Phil has to go around all the late night bars with a notepad. And sorry, pal.
That's been done before.
Can I get some pals out with me tonight? I've got Phil in tonight.
Phil's in. Let's get some shots. Go on. Phil the other night, he was leaving. He was leaving, and I was like, "Oh, do you want a drink?" And he was like, "Oh, it's just about to go. Just about to go get an early night. I'll just get a shot. I'll get an espresso martini." Mad.
Before he goes to his bed, there's a fucking coffee.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, well, I should probably get one as well. And then I was like, nah, you can't be trying to match him. Yeah. No.
One thing I'd heard, Dan, that you in your younger days worked as I mean, I don't know how else really to put this.
Dinner lady.
A dinner lady.
Yeah. No, it was a dinner lady. 100%. Dinner man. That doesn't sound
sinister,
right.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. The dinner man is coming.
So was it just you and a bunch of older women?
So there was like a bunch of sort of older women who worked in the kitchen. And
what age were you? Sorry.
So I would have been about 23.
Okay.
Right.
So it's sort of like the job I had alongside stand-up. It was an amazing job. Like, yeah, it was awesome. And it was like a minute from my house, or like 5 minutes. Like, so.
Was it the school you went to?
There's a primary school I went to. That's class. But it wasn't. It sounds so much more like, I don't know. It was like, there was bleakness to it. You know, I was like agency staff. So even though I worked there like for over a year, like when lockdown happened, I would only find out. Like they would ring me and be like, "Can you work this week?" And they would do that every single week.
Right.
And like, some of the staff were a bit gross to you, like just treat you like shit. I've like said this on a podcast before, but basically, like, well, the example that does it perfectly is they never remember your name and stuff, but they see you every single day, like the TAs and stuff with their staff. And
as a temp agency, is it?
Yeah.
Not the
Teaching
territorial
assistant.
army.
Yeah, no, that's teacher assistant. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right,
Yeah, they didn't have TAs in that. That's territory. And serve. Yeah. One of them went to me like, "Oh, you, there's a spillage." So then I like ran to clean the spillage up, and then she went, "Wash your hands, it's piss," like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And they probably remember you from having clumsy child syndrome the first time around as well.
Yeah, exactly.
What were they expecting?
But wash your hands before the piss or after the piss?
She went after.
Right, okay, because
Yeah.
she wasn't like clean your hands before
Don't get that
wiping up
piss,
piss.
man.
Yeah.
Don't want that piss to get
Don't give
done.
that piss dyspraxia. Yeah. But yeah, so I wasn't in the kitchen. I was more kind of like I say like it was like canteen police. So your job is to like get them from the class, make them line up. Like if they push in, send them to the back, like that kind of thing. Negotiate with them to eat their food, like clean up all the plates, like all of that kind of stuff. You had to be like really dynamic, but it was carnage. It was absolute chaos. Yeah. And really, I think I was dead good at it. I think it's the only job I've ever been good at, really. Yeah.
Spiritual dinner lady.
Yeah, exactly. I found out that was my calling when I was on ayahuasca. Just seeing loads of like turkey twizzlers in the car. Jamie Oliver's like on my hand.
So did comedy just get too much to do alongside that, and you had to drop it? Or?
So what actually happened was lockdown happened, and then when I came back, the job was just all of the kids were in. Ate in their classrooms, and you was basically just bringing sandwiches, and it was just like really dull and boring, and just a lot of like waiting around. And like the thing I liked about it was that it was like the shifts would just whiz by because you had so much to do, and this was just rubbish. So I sacked it off, and then I definitely hadn't gone like full time at that point. Then I did this is mad worked for a company called Big Comedy Shop, and I basically taught comedy to primary school kids after school, but not stand up, and not really. It was kind of improv, but like, but not really. We never called it that. The whole idea of what they did, and it is a really cool thing. Like, Ali Khan, who runs it, her whole thing was the idea is that you're making them laugh whilst you're doing it. So it's kind of, she really wanted like comics and comedy actors to do it. So you're doing the improv games and stuff, but the whole point is to kind of show them that, like, you know, in class you're not allowed to mess around and say funny things, but there, like, if you put your hand up, you can say what you want, as long as it's not toilet humour. That's the rules. It's hack. That's why.
That's hack.
Yeah, I say that to them before I remember. No toilet humour. Like, we all know it's funny, but it's too easy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Because I've heard somebody say before, like that's their version of like shagging material.
Yeah.
Basically, like kids, the taboo thing is poos and peas.
Yeah.
The way that, like, you know, like in an adult environment,
because they cannot believe it, and sometimes the same with hack and stand up. Like sometimes one of them would do one, like do a toilet humour joke, and you'd be like, to be fair, that was
It's always a fresh angle on it.
If it's incredible, you're like, if it comes out of nowhere, you're like, fair enough. Yeah.
That's funny. That's cool, man. Fucking aye. So you talk what? So like, but then there's a pressure. It sounds like if you're like, we'll just make them laugh. You're like, oh fuck, need to make sure I'm not dying my arse every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was one school, because I did a few different schools, and one of them, they were a tough gig. Yeah, and they were really naughty, and you just, it's like a Christmas gig. Yeah. They're not laughing, and they're also like, you know, disrespecting you constantly. Yeah.
And see the school you went to, like, was it? Did you get like? Did you move schools or something like that when you'd been diagnosed with?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I moved when I was year 3. I went to like a tiny sort of school.
And there's like, you said there was like 8 in a class or something. Is that?
So yeah, in primary it was like eight in my class. Yeah, and then in high school there were 48 in our year. Yeah, basically till the end. Yeah, yeah, which is mad. Like I knew every single person in my high school's full name. Yeah.
And was it people with all different sorts of things, basically?
Yeah. What do you mean by things? Different objects.
Stuff up with them.
The truthful answer is it was a private school that my grandma paid for. That was like there was no 11 plus, so you didn't have to be at all brainy to get in. And it wasn't just for neurodivergent people, but they had a big learning support department, small class sizes, big like drama, like huge theatre, like kind of like performing and stuff was. So naturally, a lot of non-academic people went, so therefore a lot of people who had stuff up with them. A lot of people whose heads were stuffed up.
So there was like a theatre and stuff. So did you perform?
Yeah.
Is that where you were kind of doing magic?
Yeah, and so then the talent show, that was my first competition success. Was
Nice.
So yeah, actually year 8 I went up and did stand-up. And I did like one-liners that I'd like nicked or whatever.
Right.
And completely killed, and then didn't place. And was heartbroken. Yeah.
So that was you seeing the grubby side of the industry.
Yeah.
So see earlier on when you were saying you can probably all relate to this, is that specifically what you had?
Yeah.
You kill, you don't place because of the fucking politics involved in the school.
Yeah, it never happened again. That was the only time I missed out on a comp. Yeah.
I like that as the drive behind your success in like comedy competitions as an adult is like just fucking.
You know what? In a mad way, I've never thought about when you said like, oh, does it not get to you? That probably the talent show at Hume Hall probably was a good training ground for that early days. So then the next year, that's when I started being a magician, and a lot of it was like, I'm gonna enter the talent show. And
so
then
because you lost, you're like, I've got to retrade now.
And then they changed the voting system, so it was like audience votes. I think, or maybe it was the other way around, but there was a change of voting system, and then I won. Oh no, that was right. Yeah, I remember it now. So the stand-up year was audience votes, and I couldn't believe I hadn't placed. And then and then I did magic, and then it was audience votes, and I won, and I could not believe it. Like it enhanced my popularity at the, it was huge because I was like, they've all voted. It's not just you've won. It's like, oh, the whole school have said that they like you kind of thing. From doing a thing that you were embarrassed about people thinking you were a nerd or whatever. And then the year after they changed it to judging, and then I didn't place again, and then a girl won, and she was doing a fucking magic trick, and I was so livid about it. But yeah, big time. That was like, that school was like in primary. I remember that's kind of when I realised that performing was like, because apparently I was like this like obviously like really shy, quiet kid who couldn't write his own name. Just presumed there was absolutely nothing going on in there. Like, and then like when we started, like I think there was a bit, we were doing a play, and I had to like just have a keyboard, like I can't remember what the bit was, but it's basically like a load of people in an office start like using their office things as instruments. So it's like a computer keyboard, and you had to play it like a guitar. Right. And apparently, I just completely just like stole the show. It just like came alive in this like background role, like yeah. So when they put me right in the corner because they were like, just keep him like, you know what I mean? Keep him out of the way, and
you still got that as a quote on your poster. Stole the show.
Yeah. I went into the centre, moved the mic stand out of the way.
Yeah, it's interesting that you got that kind of like you got a healthy detachment from the process of fucking competitions from experience.
I didn't expect today to be bragging so much about my performances at primary school.
There you go. What strikes me as well, Dan, is that you and, well, to be fair, basically everybody you're staying with during Edinburgh, you've got a good crew together, yourself and Paddy and Ed and all the kind of guys.
You're a diverse group in comedy.
But like it seems, because you, like, I felt last year as well when you were doing your debuts and stuff like that, like felt like a kind of new crew coming in. It's basically made me feel fucking old.
Yeah.
But you're a good group, and has that been good to have like good mates to kind of come up with?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I think, like you can get quite, it's quite quick for people to go, oh, that's clearly a gang and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, we've just been in a group chat for like the last year and a half saying unforgivable things. So it's not like, but it is nice. It is really nice. Like, I'm sure you find this. It is really nice to like have people who are on like a similar trajectory, but at the same time, that can end up putting pressure on yourself because everyone's doing so well. So
competing.
So I mean, at the moment, not so much competing, but more just like one of my motivators is just not wanting to be just shit in comparison to the people that hang out with. It shouldn't be that. That's quite toxic. But I mean, the house is, yes, I'm staying with Ed Knight, Horatio Gould, Mike Rice, BB Cave.
Is Mike in that flat as well?
Yeah. It's carnage. And everyone's just like miming about with notepads. Like the amount of lost keys already is ridiculous. Like Adam just put on the group chat, has anyone got key number 5? And then Horatio was like, oh, sorry, mate, that's with me at Black Medicine Coffee. And I was like, whilst we're doing this, has anyone got key number 4?
How big's this house? What is it? Like
it's like halls, halls.
Yeah.
Halls.
Was it six bedrooms and the 7 folks in there?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 2 toilets. We're treating ourselves. No, it is crazy. It's good though. But it's just very like, you know, if you're with comics you don't know that well, you'd all be kind of like keep yourself to yourself, and here it's, you know, it's full on.
Because you don't know each other.
And everyone's like distracting each other when we're trying to be working and stuff, but it's fun.
So you're all trying to like work on the show as well?
Yeah.
I don't know if
I think Mike's the only one who's got... Mike and BB have got theirs completely nailed down.
Right.
Like I was saying, coming back last night after a rough one to seeing Adam and Paddy absolutely crestfallen.
I'm sure by the time this comes out they'll have got their shows.
They have very high standards.
Yes. I've seen Adam's show that night.
Good,
and Ed Night as well, and they were both great, and Paddy's just fucking brilliant.
Yeah. There you go. I'm sure it's just that they like, you know, have just a really high standard.
You're never that happy with it. I mean, we were chatting about this the other day in passing. You're never that happy with it, are you? Like, depending on your mood. Like, well, this all fucking sucks. Or
even like last year, like my show, by the end, and when I came to tour, I hated it. It was rubbish. I'm laughing. I'm like idiots.
But there's that Seinfeld documentary comedian that's on Netflix. Like there's a bit and he's like working up this stuff, and somebody says to him, I think it's Colin Quinn or something, and he goes like, I just don't know when it's going to feel good, and he goes, I'll like feel like the old act, and he goes, it'll be like when you're up there killing and you're going, these people are like, I can't believe these idiots are laughing at this, but that's what it is. It's like, because it's so much goes into it, like, and it's like so much trial and error to get it looking so slick. Yeah,
by the time you got it slick, you're so bored of it, aren't you? Yeah.
I suppose that's the whole trick, to make it look.
What a bleak life. Well, there was that moment there where we were like, what the hell are we doing?
What are we doing? But I think that's as good a time as any to wrap up. What a bleak life, and on that bombshell. So, well, apart from that, Dan, obviously you've got your show. What time are you on?
9 p.m. Monkey Barrel 1.
Yes, highly recommended. I'll put the ticket link in the description as ever. And where can people find you online?
Tiernan Comedian on Instagram.
Tiernan Comedian on the old Instagram.
Recommend.
I recommend.
To plug you guys, we've all got shows as well. Tickets will all be in the description. We'll be talking about it as well. Any parting thoughts for us, Dan?
I don't think so.
No?
I think I'm spent. Yeah.
I was just going to bring up I think the first proper time we met was at that.
God.
I've got something I need to talk about as well. Go
The
on.
Channel 4 Comedy Awards.
Yeah, I was absolutely bladdered.
Same.
Were you as well?
I made a fucking cunt of myself, man.
Yeah, so did I.
We were going up to Bob Mortimer and being like, "You're my hero," and all this.
What did I say? I wrote something. I went, I just want to say you're the greatest. And he looked like perplexed. He was like, all right,
thanks.
Even he's probably such a nice bloke. Sort of looked like a bit like, all right, get back. Yeah, and we were on camera, just in the background.
Yeah,
and you could just see us. To be fair, I remember us having an absolute ball.
Oh, it was a great
we were
time.
giddy.
Yeah, it was a
we
great
were
time.
giddy. I'm glad I wasn't mic'd. Put it that way.
You kept like whispering stuff during like the speeches, and I was just pissing myself.
We
at
never
what you were
met
saying.
him. Yeah. So the next day, I was like, oh, he's gonna think I'm
It's like
such
fucking
a bad-
Tom Allen's on there doing his monologue, and you're like whispering wee things to me, and I'm fucking causing a distraction
On
by
camera.
laughing.
We all wonder what these things are.
Were you gonna say when we first met? Is that what you were gonna say?
No, but what?
I made a major faux pas with you. Do you
Did
remember?
No.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, I shouldn't say it now.
Uh-huh.
No, it was the biggest. It was the classic. We were in Loft Bar, and I said, oh, nice to meet you. Like, oh, you're doing a show at the Fringe? You went, yeah. And I went, oh, comedy, like that. I was heartbroken.
Depends on the night.
Yeah. But it was sort of the way I said it was like particularly dismissive. Yeah.
Listen, the thing is, sometimes you do remember these type of things and you do hold it to, but I don't remember that at all, Dan, so, but I will now hold it against you. No, the one thing I was going to bring up before we go, actually, because I was fucking just in the house watching the old telly box, who turns on Catster's Countdown.
What was it just on?
Aye,
Was it?
Mr. Tiernan.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you doing Catster's Countdown?
Yeah, that was so fun, to be fair. It's very rare you get to do something that you actually like love as a program. Like
Yeah.
I love like the chaos of it and all of that. And then it was a year ago, so it only came out the other week, and I did it over a year ago. But it was like just after Glastonbury, and I was like, I was just in some mad headspace, and like it was in Manchester. All my mates, my family were there, and it was just it was so fun. I've not watched it back because everyone said it was good, but they've had to cut so much because I was saying some mad stuff. Apparently, my agent was like, just one bit of feedback, just don't say cunt that many times at the start of the record, like just straight away, just calling Jimmy Carr a cunt and stuff, because they can't keep any of that in. No. It's like making jokes about the king and like just like absolutely call Catherine Ryan a cheating whore. It was just absolutely like gunning for it. Yeah.
That's good.
And apparently my mates were like, who were there, were like, they didn't keep any of that in.
You've gone in with a sort of going to prison and beat up the biggest guy mentality, like call the host a cunt.
Yeah, straight on the...
Call her a whore, get
yeah,
her there.
straight off the bat, just
Establish
go in.
yourself.
Well, it was funny because John Cairns was on that one, and I had a brilliant bit of it. He was saying he'd not been invited on in like 6 years. He's like, after 5 years, maybe I did some wrong.
Yeah.
But he was like saying, because there was some bits of you in it, and then it was like he's going, I'm actually like the normal. He says I was too weird before.
I don't know if they kept it in, but there was a moment where Jimmy goes like, I never thought I'd say this, but now for a slice of normalcy, over to John Kearns. No, it made it having John in Dictionary Corner. It was just like added this like crazy carnage to it. Yeah,
That's brilliant. Have you done any other telly stuff?
Yeah, I've done some bits.
What's really fun?
What have I done? QI I've done.
Have you?
Yeah.
Doing comedy?
Yes! Payback! Comedy, yeah. I didn't realise we're on the prison of fucking Stephen Fry or something.
Yeah, man, yeah.
I'm on hosting it. Yeah.
I've never even watched fucking QI. It's too smart for me.
Yeah, imagine how I fucking on it. Just there. It was like the first big show I'd done. That was like probably 2 years ago now. And they're just like doing this cerebral comedy like about these mad facts. And I'm there like, ooh, there's nothing coming.
Sounds like toxic, you fucking cheating whore.
Yeah.
So this guy's probably better on 8 out of 10 cats.
Yeah, it's definitely more my vibe. But I went the other way on QI. I went very much like, ooh, polite, quiet boy. Because it was just that kind of energy.
That sounds intimidating though, doesn't it? QI?
Yeah. To be fair, they did me. I ended up watching that because I was gutted with how I'd done the episode. And when it came out, my mates were like, trust me, like, they've done you so well in the edit. Like, you won't believe it. I think I made 8 jokes. And they put all of them in. Yeah.
That's good going.
Yeah, I mean they weren't. A lot of them were, you know. But I was pleased. I thought it was going to be one of them where it's like, who's that lad with no tongue? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I know that must be tough. And what else? Anything else that's been interesting?
The most interesting one probably is like, do you know Doctors?
Aye.
Yeah, so
I was a guest lead in that on played a thief with Dyspraxia. Yeah. Yeah, he basically, his dad is a crook. I wish I could remember the actor's name because it's his granddad and he was an absolute legend. He used to do stand up and he was on, I wish I could remember his name. He's an absolute character. But so me and him were doing it, and basically he's my granddad. My dad's in prison, and he's a retired con man. And this might me Logan Padmore. He really wants to, you know, what's the word? He's join the family business, right? And he's saying to his granddad, like, come on, like, let me join. And he's like, no, you're a klutz. You can't. You can't. He got asthma as well. He goes, you can't even use your inhaler. This is in comedy. Like, this is like, you can't even. How are you meant to rob that? A cock-handed thief, like, yeah. And I'm like, come on, Pops, I've got this. And then this is verbatim the lines, yeah. Then I'm like, I've seen this watch. It's just sitting there on display. And then and he won't let me do it. So I go out and do it myself. Nick the watch, and then the people start like spoilers.
Sorry, it is spoiler one.
Yeah. I fake an asthma attack. So a guy goes and gets a doctor. And then somehow that is a distraction. Doesn't really make any sense. Like, I then nick the watch, run. The doctor sees me and chases after me. I then fall because I'm dyspraxic,
of course.
And I had to do my own stunts as well. Honestly, they had put a big crash mat out over a load of bins, behind a load of bins, and I had to run at like absolutely dead. and then I've hurt my leg, right? So they put this fake cut on my leg, right? So my leg's bleeding. But me being me, whilst we're filming it, and doctors, you have to do everything really quick. It's really tight switch around. It doesn't matter if you mess a take up. They're like, I'll do. Yeah. Cut my leg. I cut my other leg. So, for real, cut my other leg. So they had to go on the talkie. Dan's cut his leg, like he's actually cut his other knee.
He's actually dyspraxic.
Yeah, exactly. And then basically I get away, steal the doctor's medical bag. I had to push him over and go, what do you know about it? And then I chuck him. Yeah. Oh yeah, the line when I did the self tape, that was in it. My mate overheard me. I was staying up with my mates, and I did a self tape. She overheard me go, "No, come on, the feds are coming!" Like, run away. And then my granddad. He's got wind. My phone's not answering. He's like, I bet he's gone to get that watch. So then me and my granddad bump into each other, and then He's like, "Oh, you idiot! You go that way." Then he fakes a heart attack, which was always the plan. But he actually has a heart attack, and then he dies.
But not the actor though. Like, you'd cut your leg. Like, this is in the script.
Yeah, but the actual actor, and I wish I remember his name, told me that he had a heart attack not that long beforehand. And then. Then he dies, and then I get arrested and I go to prison. And then 2 weeks after...
Is this all in the same episode?
Yeah, you don't see me go to prison.
Like Breaking Bad or something.
Yeah.
That's class.
And then me and my mates are saying, I bet that we want hopefully there's going to be a return of Logan Padmore when he gets out of prison. Saying surely Logan's coming back. 2 weeks after the episode came out, the whole thing got axed. Doctors is gone now, yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, 20
Because
years,
of
British
Logan
institution, yeah.
They've jumped the shark.
They couldn't hack Logan, yeah.
All it took was you cutting your leg to
Yeah, but I've heard Amazon are going to pick it up. No,
That's great. Amazing. Well, that's probably still an iPlayer or something like that.
Yeah, it is. I wish I could remember it's called, the episode's called Crime Never Pays.
Nice.
I think that's what this episode needs to be called.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, well, I think that does
Cheers,
actually wrap us up.
Thanks, lads. Pleasure.
Go and see Dan at the Fringe. See us somewhere 20th of August. We'll speak to you soon. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can follow us at SomewherePod on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter, and send any questions to the email address, which is somewherepod@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. We'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you. Cheers, Dan.